Hi there, gang. How we doing? My name is Jacob Stanley Butler, and I'm making my beginning steps to being a content creator on YouTube. Back when I was about 10, I used to film with this thing called a flip video. Remember those? Me neither. I would literally record anything that I saw. Anything and everything that I saw. Not even for the sake of editing it, just to have it. And because of that, it created an entire timeline of permanent, embarrassing catastrophes.
Avatar the movie!
He's rabid, he's trying to bite us.
This is probably I have a lot of explaining. I have a lot of explaining.
A little bit of who you know that I know.
I don't want to talk about it!
Anyway, the goal of this video is to provide elements that you have to keep in mind when you're creating content on YouTube and when you're thinking about building a brand and online persona. We're going to be talking about YouTube and its origin, as well as the significance of the moments that led up to the YouTube that we know today. We'll view YouTube's algorithm and tame it, for lack of better words. And we'll also discuss what an internet entrepreneur is and what the strategies of digital brand positioning look like with this internet entrepreneur mindset in mind. And then, of course, I'll be providing my recommendations as well as some conclusions as to kind of things that I should be doing looking forward. I will be implementing these strategies on my YouTube channel, JStanButt. Oh yeah. If it wasn't clear already, I am by no means a Class S, Class A, Class B, not even a Class C YouTuber. I am a beginning YouTuber, and I conducted this research, and I am providing this video as an outlet to myself, as well as guilt-tripping myself. That doesn't sound very positive, but I haven't been very motivated recently, and I want to create something that's going to force me to do stuff. All the sources that I allude to today will be left in the description below, the channels that I've referenced, and just general articles, periodicals, and academic journals that I've also referenced in part of my research. That way you'll be able to see all the sources I received this knowledge that I was bestowed with. But
stop lollygagging and let's get to work.
What is YouTube? So if you don't know what YouTube is, well, just take a second and there should be this little icon. It has like the carrots facing in on each other. If you go and click on that, it's gonna, whoa, I'm all like tiny now. Okay, cool. So I'm tiny now. Now look up in the top left corner. And there it is! So YouTube is an online platform for which content creators can post a wide variety of topics. And for the last 15 years, it is quite literally big banged into the giant corporation that it's known as today, primarily because of the content creators and influencers that create content for them, creating traffic to the website, which will be discussed later. Viewing things for class, because of viewing documentaries, because of looking up videos of reviews, beauty tutorials, whatever you use in your everyday life to find a video, you're probably finding it on YouTube. The way YouTube functioned back when it first started, around 2005, looks significantly different than how it looks today. So let's take a look at that. History of YouTube. Back in the early 2000s, there were many companies that were stuck in what was called an online war, and they were all battling to see who could develop the strongest tool to demonstrate what is called search engine optimization, or SEO. SEO is a concept used to describe a tool that is able to describe a large set of data. In this case, it has to do with improving the quality and quantity of a website and the traffic that travels between each page on said website. Some of the companies that were involved in this online war include Blinks, Google Video, and Yahoo Video. The goal of this war was for one of these companies to come out on top and create the strongest, fastest, and most efficient SEO, which none of them were able to pull off. So, in 2004, there were a couple of large-scale events that ended up happening. So, the wardrobe malfunction by Janet Jackson, that's a starter. And the other event was the Sumatra Andaman earthquake on the Indian Ocean Plate. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And when this happened, the whole world was like, that's terrible! Where? And so they were trying to find a source that they could be able to view some of the videos that were the result of the wardrobe malfunction, as well as the movement of the earth that ended in catastrophe. And the only problem is they really couldn't. There wasn't really a platform at the time that was able to provide up-to-date, round-the-clock, and round-the-globe information that people could access in order to see these events take place. And that's when 3 determined PayPal employees band together to create the site that would change the way people viewed media forever.
Dun, dun, dun.
In April of 2005, Chad Hurley, Stephen Chen, and Jawad Kareem brought their collective website, interface, and programming skills. And finally, the video sharing platform was born. What I thought was somewhat ironic about this entire process is that out of the three of them, none of them carried any interest or knowledge to the principles of marketing, which seems impossible considering marketing has become a second-hand element of the platform and defines the process on how to build recognition and viewership. Here is their first official post to the platform, me at the zoo.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
From there, it had boomed into a platform for content creators and bed vloggers to post specifically personally identified content. It also birthed a new form of communication as well as expression, especially when it comes to communicating to target audiences for either individuals or businesses. It started as a platform for people to share their creations and their experiences. This would soon evolve into the corporation behemoth that most are familiar with today. Smosh was there, Fred was there, Annoying Orange was there, PewDiePie was there, and thousands of other content creators to follow. And of course, the rest is history. Making a living off YouTube. You may be able to tell that a channel is growing based on them being on the trending list, an increased amount of subscribers, and an increased amount of views. However, these factors come with extremely hard work and dedication. People love to entertain the masses, but sometimes it can be extremely difficult to create high-quality content. This left YouTube with an interesting investing opportunity, leaving creators with a more full-time choice. Now YouTube was really fulfilling that corporate status! This employed relationship is known as the YouTube Partnership Program. The YPP gives creators the opportunity to monetize their videos. This is done by accruing ad revenue through advertisements that are presented through companies that advertise on YouTube. I know I said advertise a lot, I'm sorry! The requirements to become a partner and start making cheddar cheese is to be in good standing with YouTube and their community guidelines, have 4,000 public hours over the course of 12 months, and have at least 1,000 subscribers. Even though this does portion out to about 10 hours a day, I mean, Unis Honest did it for an entire year and they were fine, so. But in all seriousness, as one becomes more acclimated with the YouTube platform, 10 hours becomes the dream 9 to 5. There are actually other ways that you can gain activity and revenue. This includes a channel membership program, as well as Super Chat donating through the live streams. Now with this understanding of monetization, let's swing over to the channel dashboard. Alrighty gang, this is the channel dashboard. This gives you access to all the content that you have uploaded to your channel and gives you analytics based on your overall performance. Here at the channel dashboard, it will give you your performance based on the latest content that you've posted. It will also give you a general summary of overall channel analytics, which includes current subscribers and views, watch time in hours, and top videos on the channel based on the last 48 hours. Now, as I've mentioned before, I do not have the most stunning statistics, considering I am a beginning YouTuber. The good news is the analytics dashboard looks generally the same regardless of subscriber count or total views. Whichever point you find yourself in terms of popularity and growth, you will still receive very helpful information. For example, in my case, I have seen that my views have increased by 49%, whereas my watch time has decreased by 19%. This tells me I'm producing at an appropriate quantity of content, but maybe I should consider stepping back a bit and focusing on the progression of the quality of my content. By selecting Go to Channel Analytics, the title of the line graph will show you how many views your channel has recently received in the last time frame. In this case, it is in the last 28 days. Scrolling down a bit, you can view each video posted in terms of their total views. Impressions to click-through rate, which measures how frequently they click to other videos based on that specific video, and average view duration. Looking towards this video here, Streaming for Steve, how long people watch my video with audience retention was viewed for a duration of 57 seconds. You could also choose to view the individual video statistics. By selecting Advanced Mode in this tab, you're able to see the expanded version of the video's progression. Now that we understand the factors that affect channel growth, let's take a look at the YouTube algorithm, which monitors how these growth factors affect the channel in the first place. The YouTube algorithm. Now, the YouTube algorithm is an extremely sophisticated SEO. It is actually directly related to the personalized data users get through their YouTube analytics. There have been a lot of different concerns with the algorithm in the past in terms of how people can manipulate it and how it caused certain channels to be kind of just left out of the loop. The way YouTube functions is not openly stated. People have made plenty of videos to be able to cover this topic, but if that information were out, everyone would be killing it right now. The basic idea of the algorithm is based on 3 general components. These components are relevance, quality, and credibility. Relevance has to do with the connection between what the searcher typed with the keywords that are present within your video elements. So this is commonly in the video title, description, and video tags. Content creators also suggest placing videos into playlists and grouping them so that there's a higher probability that your video will show up in somebody's search, and it will increase the click-through rate on your channel. The concept of relevance, however, is the exact problem point in the previous days of the algorithm. With companies like Google and YouTube, their SEOs used to be primarily based on these keyword grabs, and the top search websites would be based on their ability to best connect with the keywords in the query. This sounds like a normal strategy, but when websites and YouTube channels just jam huge paragraphs of hashtags and keywords at the bottom of their web pages and their channels, becomes a little difficult for certain content creators to show up in the search. Am I right? Although it is sometimes problematic, relevance is the primary and first reason that somebody will click on your video and view your channel. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. Quality is in the hands of the creator. This factors an evaluation based on the viewer's interaction with the channel before clicking on the video, while watching the video, and after leaving the video. It is a question of, will the viewer come back to the channel and view more content? The variables that refer to quality are click-through rates, viewer retention, and overall video engagement. All these statistics were actually viewable through the YouTube analytics that we checked out before as well. Credibility is a benefit of the reputation that you build. This is where the community can put in a good word about the reliable nature of your content. This concept has become less of an issue with YouTube's community guidelines being set in place and updated, but they're bound to sprout again due to the general misuse and misunderstanding of the platform. And the algorithm breaks down even further into more like quantum level elements the more you dig into it. One of the examples of digging into the algorithm has to do with body and object scanning, being able to detect specific objects that are on screen and determine what the subject matter within the video is to inform the audience of what they're expecting when they go into said video. This in turn sets an environment for said video and improves the accuracy of the algorithm when people go to click. But that's a whole other discussion about the diversification of SEOs and the algorithm. But if you are interested in that topic, I highly encourage you go to check out Digital Trailblazers channel, where they have a whole video talking about it. Very cool. Good job. I appreciate you. But enough said about the algorithm. Let's talk about the brand itself for a second. Internet entrepreneurship and digital brand positioning. How are we doing so far? Are we doing okay? Oh, I talk too much, don't I? I'm sorry, I was just getting nervous, and you're just so beautiful, and so many things were going through my head, and oh my god, what am I doing? I want to talk about one last thing before we get into the recommendations. That's talking about the brand itself. For a second, visualize a YouTube channel as a business card for an individual internet entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship itself covers the concept of selling yourself in order to encourage somebody to invest in a product, service, message, or a YouTube channel. And of course, the world is quickly changing over to the online environment, especially right now. But this is good, because as a YouTuber, you are given an abundance of different digital brand positioning opportunities. This will actually relate directly to a way that you can design your channel, which is actually going to be one of the recommendations. We're almost getting there. We're like this close, I'm sorry. This specific type of digital brand positioning is related to internet entrepreneurship, and it is a strategy related to how an organization wants to be perceived by its primary stakeholders. And this is based on the area that the organization is in and the value that it provides, since it's the virtual environment online. It is also the way many companies are heading due to the low investment costs, low operating expenses, and the plethora of different markets that you can choose from. Building a brand on YouTube will look slightly different from the traditional brand positioning strategies due to the fact that the group of stakeholders or the brand teams may look slightly different on a YouTube channel as opposed to a corporation. Where a company might have a board of directors, a YouTube channel will have a team of what's called brand managers. And that brings us at last to the first recommendation. The recommendations. There is a series of layout settings that you can apply to your current channel to set up this brand team for you. The members of this team include you, as well as a team of brand managers that keep a watchful eye over the channel analytics and any channel edits that are made over the series of time. Let's go ahead and set that up, shall we? Something to note, however, is that usually the step is done when you're down the line as a YouTube creator, and you found that you have a certain set group of people that can look over your channel alongside you. But if you're just starting up, this may not be as important. Honestly, you can do this at any time. It's speedrun time. Go into the settings of your personal Google account. Select add or manage your channels. Click create new brand account. Enter the channel name. Hey, I'll do
Baba Booey.
Hit the create button. Bam! We're done the first step. Switch the account back over from your brand to your personal account. Select settings. Then click view advanced settings. Select move channel to brand account. We just made that. Initiate the switch with the channel we just made. This switch shows that the channel on the personal account will be switched over to the brand account. Great! Confirm the switch by hitting move channel. And that is literally it. Please note, when you do this, any comments that you posted to your own videos will be deleted. Besides that, you're free to now build your team. Ba-bam! Now, let's move away from all the technicalities and the information overload for just a second and just talk from the soul. I have to poop. For the next recommendation, let's talk about creating our content. Here is the honest truth. When you start up, you have no idea what's gonna work for you. Nope, wait, hey! That's okay, because every starting YouTuber has that problem. So do you know what you do? Do what you love. Whether it be gaming, beauty tutorials, making a how-to guide on selling a car, making a business about selling plants, reading a ton of books and reviewing them, making furniture, making a blog, making a channel about puppies. That's the beautiful thing about being a starting creator. You're not expected to make any sort of specific content yet. So start doing what you love, just keeping these factors in the back of your mind when it comes to the algorithm, when it comes to branding, when it comes to monetization, because those won't be an issue when you start up. As you progressively start to build your audience and start to know what you love doing and what your audience really enjoys, then you can worry about these factors. Let's take a second to look at an example of tremendous growth, starting from the point of just making videos that interest you. This example, of course, is YouTube celebrity sweetheart, Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, or Jimmy Donaldson, started investing in his brand from an extremely young age, from about 15 years old. However, he created hundreds of videos before he went big, designing a wide variety of content such as how much money do they make videos and gaming videos. He first established his audience and created the content that interests him. Then, once that audience built to a comfortable amount, then he could start working on the larger scale projects. The ones we're most familiar with, like microwaving a microwave, filling a backyard full of Orbeez, buying an entire island. He's able to continuously reinvest the ad revenue he made from his most previous big project into the next project to earn even more ad revenue and even more monetization, and the cycle just continues. This concept I actually find really interesting. If you guys are interested in hearing more about this consistent cycle and Mr. Beast's growth, I highly recommend checking out Patty Galloway's channel, where he talks in depth on YouTubers such as Mr. Beast, Casey Neistat, Mark Rober, Dream. Something to note about each of these YouTubers is that they did not start with the same amount of viewership exposure and popularity. Because they consistently uploaded to their platform and set a genre for reviewers to be interested in, that's when they meant that exponential growth. This leads me to my next point.
What's that word? Consistency! Thanks, losers.
Important to consider when branding your channel and starting to grow your content, to keep that content consistent and keeping the uploads to the channel consistent as well. Now, don't get me wrong, you want to surprise people, but you don't want them confused to when they come onto the channel. I guess there's a fine line. Because generally when you confuse your content, you're confusing your audience, thus they can't get a sense of your personality or your intentions. With consistency, however, credibility increases and viewers have something to expect when they come back. Because honestly, people just kind of like the guessing game, you know? For the next recommendation, once the audience is built to the point where you should start considering your brand, just like we said in the first recommendation, think about that initial approach. Some would argue that a YouTube channel's growth starts from factors such as originality, a charismatic personality, collaboration with bigger YouTubers, and of course, luck, but there's also a frequent practice some starting YouTubers use on their channel as well. The process of trend jacking is when a starting or consistent YouTuber will jump onto a specific trend, activity, topic, or game that could potentially exponentially increase the growth of their channel. Because what they're doing is they're taking a popular topic and introducing their own set personality and their own set tweaks to that specific topic. And if this picks up enough attention, it will become their new primary form of content. To one of the YouTubers that we mentioned before, this is actually a tactic that Dream had used when he started up his channel as well. Before reaching his largest growth, he talked about other content creators in terms of game theories and reality theories. One of the biggest trends that he jumped onto that caused his channel to grow so significantly was when he started playing Minecraft and introduced a series that we're all familiar with, Minecraft Manhunt, where he would build an average of 10 million viewers per video. What the fuck? In this case, he utilized trend jacking with Minecraft itself to exponentially increase his viewership. Although he might have been genuinely interested in it, he happened to pick up on it right around 2019 when Minecraft reached its big arc again. And because he grew his skill, he was met with viewership and love. I love the guy too. I mean, come on. And our last recommendation of the day, designing your channel's brand. As you progressively introduce your viewers to your brand, consider developing the image of how your brand looks. You might consider doing this once you've obtained or designed your own logo and created your own banner on your channel as well. You can change the appearance of your brand by going into your channel page, selecting customization settings, and select branding. These little examples are just a couple little things that I kind of just threw together. So here we are at the end of the video. It was a frickin' journey. Are you still in the audience? Oh my. These 5 recommendations I'm taking to my grave. For the future, I should consider creating a consistent form of content and establishing consistent uploads while establishing my initial approach to my brand as well. I don't think my first start will be filling pools full of Orbeez, but if I were given the offer, I'd take it in a heartbeat. And I feel that I've reached enough growth, I will definitely be utilizing the brand account as well. I know I talked about a lot today, but I really do appreciate you being here and listening to what I had to say. But what do you think, Mini JSB? Is my video better or your videos?
See you on the internet.
Enough said. But again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to my friends, my family, the staff and students from my school for being able to help me out with this project and its progression. I've definitely gone through a lot when it comes to creating this, and it's going to be quite the thing to edit together, but I'm excited to put everything together. It's going to be really fun. But if you are interested in seeing content related to building your brand, I would highly encourage you to check out this video where I do a tutorial on Premiere Pro, which is the program I use, and this video where I talk about the different tips and tricks to consider before facing the online environment as a content creator. But seriously, thank you, gang. I love you all. Stay classy.